Well, we finally got it working. Apologize for the technical difficulties, but the clock is ticking, and it's time to get rolling again. Welcome along to Mexico for round 19 of 24 of the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Xbox Championship and the Mexico City Grand Prix. Well, right now we are here in one of the oldest cities in North America, in Mexico City itself, a city that sits 2,000 meters above sea level, and the elevation means the air is going to be thinner, and the aerodynamics are going to be a necessity. Mexico City is also the capital of Mexico, a country that possesses 10 to 12% of the world's biodiversity and the fourth most in the world. But today it hosts the Mexico City Grand Prix, formerly renamed from the Mexican Grand Prix itself. By the way, Wraith goes for original pole. Sorry, we had a little bit of troubles getting in. Speaking of the Mexico City Grand Prix, let's talk about the circuit then. The Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez has held 22 Grand Prix, with the first coming in 1962. It has 17 corners, 7 to the left and 10 to the right, which makes up the 4.3 kilometer, 2.7 mile distance. Well, there's 3 DRS zones that will not be active right now because of the wet conditions, and the runs into turn 1, 4, and 12, which will aid overtaking, and, well, the ensuing change in average lap speed at 197 kilometers per hour, 122 miles per hour. It's slower than a week ago, but it's quick nonetheless. Well, like always, tire wear is always a talking point, and that's something that Pirelli have once again covered, as they have brought the C4, C3, and C2 compounds of tire, with the C4 being the red wool soft compound of tire, the C3 being the yellow wool medium compound of tire, and the C2 being the white wool hards. Obviously, the inners and full wets are available because we have them on right now. Is it inners? Is it full wets? We'll have to see what the drivers think right now in this qualifying session. But the tire drop-off itself in the race, it is going to be a dry forecasted race. So, what's the strategy here? The tires don't fall off as much. Is it the 1-stop? Is it the 2-stop? We'll find out when that comes. But right now, we need to see how well qualifying goes. But let's take a look at the championship then. A week ago, the gap at the top between Sweller's team and BRL Wraith was about 42 points. Well, now that increased and extends to 65 after the result from Sweller's team after winning the American Grand Prix a week ago. Well, let's take a look at third, though. Boss Gerbil is 84 points back from the championship fight, 27 ahead of Toneless Death in fourth. Well, by the way, 16 down, 4 are left to contend for this championship, as Heatwave and No Limit were also eliminated mathematically from championship contention last week as well. They sit 5th and 6th. Mozzie sits 7th ahead of Tweaking in 8th. Veyron sits 9th after his 4th straight second place in a row. He's not, well, can he make it 5? We'll see what the Mercedes can do. Right now he has yet to come out of the garage yet. In P10, sits Roscoe in the AlphaTauri, with the other Mercedes of Calzoner sitting P11 and Silk River P12. Let's look at the Constructors' Championship then. Alfa Romeo sits 131 points ahead of Ferrari, and they sit 9 points ahead of Aston Martin. Well, Bosch Gerbil is going to be the sole Aston Martin. He's going to have to go against Toneless Death. It's going to be a 1v1 from Aston and Ferrari. Who gets the upper hand going down into Australia a week from now? By the way, Calzoner goes to the line now in the Mercedes. He goes up on the intermediate tires up to P5. Right now in P4, the Red Bull sits 41 points ahead of McLaren in 5th, with AlphaTauri close to the wing in 6th. Mercedes sits 7th, 33 points behind AlphaTauri, with Alpine sitting in 8th, 12 points ahead of Williams and 15 ahead of Haas. And that rounds out the Constructors' Championship. But right now, I'm Hey Catcher, joined alongside by Redeemer. Redeemer, are you actually here?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, I don't know. I thought you left. By the way,
I stayed here the whole time. I was waiting for you to figure out your stuff.
Good. I believe, who just got, was it Groggy that got a 5-place grid penalty?
No, that was actually DeBiz.
Well, there you go. DeBiz has been given a 5-place grid penalty. Not exactly sure what. We'll have to look back at that in a second. But by the way, it's a very long run in turn 1. We saw it through Realistic and the numerous equal tiers, especially through yesterday. It's a lot of chaos that could happen. Do you think the drivers have that in the back of their minds when they're on the grid right now, even in this qualifying session? I know it's wet, but they have that in the mind. Do they want to be first? Do they want to be second? It may not be as easy and clear cut as who's the first to turn 1, because there's going to be a lot of people going and jockeying that one spot.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the saying, you can't win a race into turn 1. So I think these guys are going to try to take it easy. Damage limitation obviously is also a key factor going into turn 1, as it is every other week when we do these races. On board with Botch Gerbil at the moment, coming into the S's. Little side note, did you see that Bahrain is now extended until 2036?
I did, and I want to do a little side note. That is like, there's some people in this tier and in BRL itself that in about 14 years it's going to double their age. That's how long the contract is.
Yeah, so for me, I'm turning. I know I don't sound it on the stream, but in real life, I was born in '97. So I'm gonna be 24 this year, and it's 2022. So I'm trying to do quick math right now. Is Botch Gerbil is gonna go fastest with a 26.3? What a lap from him. I think I'm gonna be 38 when that contract runs out for
Something
Bahrain.
like that. I mean, it's 14 years from now, so you could just do that math real quick there. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's kind
could,
of the same situation for me.
I could, but
So.
no, 38.
To put it in perspective, I would be 32 by the time that contract expires.
Wait, so I'm actually older than you? This is a problem.
How have you not known this?
How often do you think I pay attention to this kind of thing?
Well, to be fair, not very often.
Yeah, I mean, we have been in the booth almost all season, so...
Hey, well, you know what? Next time we go through the booth, I'm gonna need you to fill out a full resume and application of your age, name, date, where you live, your social security number. I'm just kidding. Calzone goes provisional pole, 42 milliseconds ahead of Botch Gerbil in the Aston Martin, and Morale sits in the third. Ryan Hurricane fourth. Roscoe in fifth, with Wraith sixth. DeBiz seventh. He has a 5-place grid penalty coming his way at the end of this qualifying session. What happened?
Wraith had a little tank slapper coming out of the... Wow. Okay. Wraith had a little tank slapper coming out of the final corner, where Bottas crashed out in 2019, I believe it was.
Yes.
So Veyron is actually, as Botch Gerbil is going to do, 25.6. So that just shows the track is improving. As the rain has definitely lightened up from the beginning of the session, which there is 1 minute and 50 seconds left as Mozzie goes up to P3. Veyron is on a lap coming through the S's. Let's see how he handles these. These are very sort of tricky corners to navigate in the dry, and the wet is obviously a little bit harder. You can navigate them pretty well. Split. Gonna be 1 minute 3.4. I don't have the time graphic, which he's just gonna invalidate coming into the stadium section. Funnily enough, he's got. What just happened?
Morale, by the way, don't pay attention to the stream time. It's not correct. Redeemer's going to be the one that's going to have to relay on that information. But Morale went across the line in fifth. Calzone goes provisional pole, but almost lost the car into the barriers. He saved it, and both Mercedes now cross the line. Veyron's going to start his flying lap again as he invalidated, as you said. Calzone goes provisional by 23 milliseconds. Rates ahead by 79 milliseconds. It's all going to count down. Invalidation for Morale. No more for the Red Bull. And that's going to be the next, I believe, Alpha Tauri. Is that going to be Roscoe? Yes, it is, to the line. He goes in the Alpha Tauri. He goes to fourth. Can they stay where they are right now? Hurricane's going to be next to the line. He's actually going to start his flying lap now. DeBiz, he's going to go across the line. He goes up to fifth. Next is going to be Wraith. Does he go provisional pole? He does go provisional pole by 0.5 of a second. The next up is going to be Mozzie in the Alfa Romeo. Time is ticking. Who can get where on the grid? It's going to be crucial indeed. For the rain, it's going to be a dry race, though. Mozzie up to third. The next one is going to be, I believe, Toneless Death in the Ferrari. Around turn 16 to 17, he goes in the Ferrari. What can he do? He's seventh at the moment. He goes up to fifth.
Whoa! Morale, you're not supposed to do that, my guy. Matt Silva coming across the line. He's going to jump up to P9. I believe that was... Next person is going to be Swellerstein coming out of the final corner.
Flag.
See if he can keep it nice and tidy. Checker flag is out. Qualifying is over. Sweller's going to go P8. I believe the next car is going to be Veyron in the Mercedes coming out of the final corner. Groggy following closely behind. Veyron is going to jump up to P2. Groggy coming
to P2.
out of the final corner. Yeah, no stranger to P2. Groggy is going to stay 13th, and I believe the next person is going to be Heatwave, who's invalidated.
Who's also invalidated. Behind him is going to be, I believe, Ryan Hurricane in the Williams. He's going through 16 and 17. He's 12th at the moment. He was up in the top 5 a minute ago. He goes up to second. Next is going to be DeBiz in the Haas. Time's running out. Where can he put it? He's invalidated. Next one is going to be Botch Gerbil. He's already on provisional pole. He goes and stays there. He can't improve on his time. Next is going to be Mozzie in the Alfa Romeo. He's invalidated. Behind him is going to be the Mercedes of Calzone, who's also invalidated. Behind him, Toneless Death in the Ferrari. He is still valid. Around turn 16 he goes. Will he stay out? No, yes, he will. Almost drifting through 17. To the line he goes in the Ferrari. He's up to fourth. What can Wraith do? He's invalidated as well, and that pretty much may be it. What can Morale do? He's coming across into 16, into 17. Can the Red Bull take off Bosch Gerbil's pole position? No, he can't. It's Gerbil on pole from Ryan Hurricane on the front row.
So Veyron starting P3. Let's see what he can do. He's obviously, going to get the slipstream from Bosch Gerbil off of the line. As I believe this is actually one of the longest, if my memory serves me right, this is the longest start to turn 1 in the F1 calendar.
I would think so. It's either this or Spain. But right now, it's going to be Bosch Gerbil is going to be looking in his mirrors down into turn 1.
Ooh, Groggy did get a 5-place grid penalty.
I'm guessing they hit each other. DeBiz and Groggy Oregano, they both will have a 5-place grid penalty coming their way. DeBiz will start down in 13th. Groggy will, I believe, start down in 14th. But right now, Bosch Gerbil got pole position for the Mexico City Grand Prix ahead of Ryan Hurricane on the front row with him in second place. Veyron, he's got 4 straight second places. He'll start from third today. Toneless Death alongside him in the second row. Calzunner 5th, Morale 6th. Mozzie 7th ahead of Wraith, ahead of Roscoe, ahead of DeBiz, the top 10. They're all going to restart the tire because it's going to be a dry start. So this team outside the top 10. Well, Wraith needs to close in. Well, how's the shot? Mount Silva 12th, Groggy 13th, Heatwave 14th. Once I said, DeBiz and Groggy are going to have 5-place grid penalties coming their way for the Mexico City Grand Prix.
Early podium predictions?
That's not my job. That's your job, sir.
Well, I'm asking the stream, not just you.
Well, you got to clarify.
But it should be clarified no matter...
Okay, to make it clarified to
wait, hang on. Important news. My Xbox just told me that you came online.
Great.
Gotta love it.
Great. Yeah, that's why the stream was delayed. We apologize for that. Technical difficulties. I literally could not join into the lobby without the stream pretty much kicking me out of the lobby. So, that's why qualifying was kind of cut in half, and I do apologize about that. It's kind of chaotic, kind of slim, but hey, it's all right. We still got it regardless. Look at the race director. Once again, everyone has free choice attire, and Morale has chosen the hards.
Everyone else is on softs for now. Also, Ritzy, if you're watching, please ping me. Make sure that my audio is included. Oh, there we go. Wraith is on mediums.
Well, like I said, everyone has
there's
free
another
choice
one.
attire.
Sweller's team is on mediums as well.
I'm surprised. A lot of people have gone with a C4.
There's
another one for
Heatwave.
medium. That's kind of a tradition now.
And there's Mozzie also on mediums. And yeah.
So, now it begins for the formation lap for the Mexico City Grand Prix. Take a look at the tires. Once again, everyone in the top 5 from Bosch Gerbil down to Calzunner, all on the soft compounded tire. Morale, the only one actually on the grid on the C2 hard compounded tire. He'll probably do the reverse strategy. Mozzie and Wraith both on the mediums. Roscoe on the softs. Medium for Sweller's team. And for Heatwave, Matt Silva, DeBiz, and Groggy all on the soft compounded tires. Now, by the way, I talked about Bosch Gerbil, this man on pole position, going to be looking in his mirrors down to turn 1. 45% of all Mexico Grand Prix winners, well now the Mexico City Grand Prix winners, have been won from pole. So that's going to be something to look out for going down into turn 1 here tonight. And it's also going to be looking out here because, well, I guess I finally will give you your 3 seconds of, glory, Ritzy. The last championship was locked here at the Mexico Grand Prix, now the Mexico City Grand Prix, by Ritzy in the Alfa Romeo. Well, it's going to be a long way out. Still a lot of points on the board. 156 can be out from now until the season finale in the Emilia-Romagna and Imola. Well, there's still a plenty amount of time for these drivers to do the best they can. Previous winner, well, it was Ritzy. He won it. He won the championship and the race in the same weekend. It was great for him and the Alfa Romeo team. But 44% of the grid had a penalty. Well, that's because it was a wet race. That may be a lot higher here tonight because of the stricter track limits for the Mexico Grand Prix circuit. The tire C4 can go to around 15 or so laps. Really say 22 for the C3s, the mediums, and 30 for the C2 and the hards. Now it's going to be crucial. The strategy, I talked about it, the 1-stop, 2-stop. Well, there's multiple variations of the 2-stop. Can you do the soft medium, a soft medium, or can you just do a straight up soft to medium or medium to hard? We'll find that out. But now Groggy is coming around turn 16. I'm ready for this.
This man has no helmet.
Who?
Morale.
Interesting. Well, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I got the popcorn.
We're gonna need it.
I got the popcorn, I got the monsters, I got the soda, I got the waters, I got everything.
Absolutely perfect. He's going to need it. It's going to be a heck of a race. 6 rounds to go. Kragi Reganov in the 16th grid spot. Will go from him to Botch Gerbil in the lead of the race. Now the pole position. The lights are on for the Mexico City Grand Prix. 6 rounds to go, and it's lights out and away we go. A really good start from Botch Gerbil in the Aston Martin. He's already along and ahead of the Williams, and now he's going to go down to the turn 1. It's going to be 2 abreast. It's going to be Ryan Hurricane and Veyron alongside behind him. Now look at this. The Ferrari of Toneless Death. He's going to be pressurizing those two down to the turn 1. It's still going to be Gerbil ahead of Hurricane. Side by side with Veyron. Toneless Death running wide, I believe was a Red Bull, but it's going to be Gerbil from Hurricane from Veyron.
Mozzie around.
Calzoner. Mozzie goes around, but look at this. Hurricane and Veyron. They're going to be battling down to the turn 4. It's going to be, like I said, this man in the Mercedes has no stranger to second place. He's right now in second place. It's not done yet. Ryan Hurricane still alongside him into 5. Into 6 they go. Still wheel to wheel with the top 2. And now look at this. Ryan Hurricane is going to go to 3rd. Only just. He's still side by side. He's going to have to give it up into the S's.
Yeah, a lot of big battles happening right now. Sweller's team has not gotten the best of runs. The best of starts, excuse me, as he's actually side by side. Oh boy. It went side by side through the S's himself and Heatwave as Groggy and DeBiz did the same thing. They're still going to go side by side into the start of the stadium section. DeBiz is just going to back out of it.
It's been kind of a chaotic start, but it's now only 1 lap, 35 more to go. Right now it's Gerbil from Veyron, from Hurricane, from Calzada, for Toneless Death. Both Red Bulls and Morale, then Wraith. Roscoe, Matt Silva, TTM Heatwave, your top 10. And now it's going to be pressurizing once again for Ryan Hurricane and the Williams. Will he try to close in on the
Mercedes? Look at Roscoe closing in on the 2 Red Bulls. Oh, they're going to go 3 abreast into turn 1.
3 wide.
I hope no. Oh boy, that would have been bad. Also, how often do you see this? You see a medium, hard, and a soft runner running in 6th, 7th, and 8th. Yeah, not very often.
The Red Bulls switch around. The championship rival and protagonist of Wraith is going to be trying to go and try to chase after and gain as much points to swell as he has right now. About 5 or so positions on him. Well, Morale in 7th, Roscoe in 8th. He has to worry about Matt Silva behind him in the Alpine, who's pressurizing the back of that Alpha Tauri down into the S's now. He's going to stay ahead of him, though.
Ryan almost had a little bit of a moment coming in the start of the S's. He got a little wobbly as he's still chasing down Veyron for P2.
Speaking of chasing down, here comes Heatwave and Matt Silva side by side down in the turn 12. Oh, contact with Matt Silva. Heatwave's been forced off. Heatwave's going to go down the inside of 13. They're still side by side. The mediums in the Alpha Tauri. The softs on the Alpine. They're still wheel to wheel. More contact. Sweller's team looking in the wind. Matt Silva stays ahead of Heatwave. But look at the exit. Can he get a better exit in the Alpha Tauri? No, he cannot so far. But DRS is going to be in his favor. It's been activated this time by, but he cannot use it until turn 2. Roscoe and Morale, they switch around. The Alpha Tauri ahead of the Red Bull. Then in the turn 1. Is Morale done? No, he's not. Of course he's not. But he has to back out of that. He thinks better of it.
Actually, they won't be as there's a yellow flag.
Oh, no! It's going to be Roscoe around turn 1. The Alpha Tauri spun round maybe at the hooks and at the liking of maybe, I believe, the Red Bull. A Morale.
To correct you, they won't actually have DRS until the exit of turn 11.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
The detection point.
As Ryan's already got a 3-second time penalty. That's going to hurt.
First one of many. And yes, it will hurt indeed. That'll be applied at the end of his race time. 3 seconds. Running a bit wide through 11. It's going to be Veyron. That may give Hurricane a chance in a 12. He has the DRS. He's just not close enough. The corner's not wide enough for him to make that late of a lunge.
Hey, he's just biding his time because his Heatwave is going to get past Matt Silva with the DRS. And the sun is shining at this beautiful Mexican Grand Prix. Nice. Anyways, back up to the battle with Ryan Hurricane and Veyron. Ryan's on the button. He's going to get DRS. He's going to open the DRS. He's going to look on the outside before turn 1. He's just going to get that move done. Look at the straight line speed. Wow.
That's the help with the DRS. He's going to be cleanly through. No hesitation for the Williams. He's back up to 2nd, but he has that time penalty to contest to his name. That'll be something to look out for. Roscoe in the pit lane. He may have some front wing damage, and he's going to get off the softs while he's at it.
Also, the top 4 are all Mercedes engines.
Mercedes dominating in Mexico. That's been something we've heard before.
Yeah. Come on, Thomas. Rooting for you. Underdog.
By the way, speaking of toneless, with his result in the last week, his 4th position, he's still in that championship fight. He's 111 points behind the championship leader of Swiller's team, but him and Bot Sherbel are still in, mathematically, the championship fight alongside Wraith and Sweller. Sweller's in 10th, Thomas is in 5th. Bot Sherbel actually leading the thing, and Wraith is behind him, closing in, actually, the Red Bull on that Ferrari.
I think this is the one race that I've seen Wraith use the amount of ERS that he has already.
Due to that, it's probably the DRS. The DRS train, especially, is probably just going to be really crucial to stay within it. Speaking of, Calzoner closing in on Veyron, who's actually dropped a bit from Ryan Hurricane because he's had the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. The two Mercedes in tandem, they're not going to switch around this time, but Wraith and Tonus Death, they may think about it down in the turn 1.
Wraith's going to look cleanly down the inside. Tonus is going to give him the position and the space. Yeah, Tonus is just not going to fight that.
A lot of battles went on. Pete Wave and Morale switch positions. Sweller's team and Matt Silva switch positions. And Groggy and DeBiz all switch positions. All in the same time. All in the turn 1. Looking out for that passing zone in the turn 1. That
Roscoe got a little tank slapper coming out of the final corner.
That has been something we've seen all throughout the weekend. It's been difficult to get the power down in both conditions, the dry and the wet. You could see that here play out tonight. We saw it happen in a safety car restart and a realistic and a dry weather running as well.
So I don't know about you, but the S's, as the Mercedes thought about switching around there for a second going into turn 12. As Sweller's team that is Morale around. The man with no helmet, no head, driving that Red Bull. At least on my end. No, his head's there. He just does not have a helmet. Back to what I was saying again. The S's kind of remind me of Japan. Just a lot flatter.
Well, any S's could probably remind you of Japan. By the way, Morale has front wing damage. He'll come in and get off the hard. That's not what he needed because now he has to go. And he speeds in the pit lane for good measure as well. That's not going to help his case in this Mexico City Grand Prix. Mazzi also picked up a time penalty, 3 seconds to his name as well. Well, Mercedes are getting close. Everyone else seems to have a little bit of consistency coming and a little bit of, well, they need to get a move on.
Yeah, Calzona was looking for the move on the inside of turn 1 on his teammate, but his teammate just cut him off. So we'll have to see what these two Mercedes do, see which one of them is the quicker of the two. If I actually look at the moment, the quicker one for the fastest lap is going to be Calzona.
One thing to point out, by the way, with this, all these three squabbling, Ryan Hurricane, Veyron, and Calzoner, that's opened up the gap, by the way, as Matt Silva picked up a 3-second time penalty. Bot Sherbel's gap to Ryan Hurricane is about 3 seconds now. Not only is he well out of the DRS range, as Matt Silva gets past DeBiz, battle for 9th, but he's well ahead, and maybe even in a, a little bit of a pocket of air if he happened to receive a 3-second time penalty, which Roscoe just did. It's unfortunate timing.
I choose not to say anything.
Here comes DeBiz on Matt Silva once again. He's not down the Haas, the right-hand side, but the DRS still get through on the Alpine into turn 1. It's been a quite, I guess, a busy overtaking spot in this corner.
Yeah, I thought there would have been a lot more overtakes into turn 4 as well, but then again, with the DRS down the front straight and the straight into turn 4, it is all one DRS detection zone. As Ryan Hurricane's going to get another time penalty, because Honda's going to get a little bit loose coming into the S's.
So Ryan Hurricane now with 6 seconds. Calzoner about 5/10 off of his teammate. Veyron ahead of him. Now it's the waiting period, I would say. Everyone has pretty much yet to stop except for Roscoe and Morale, both having to have some front wing changes and a new set of tires to boot. But now this gets in the strategy. Do we see a 1-stop for these guys, soft to medium? Do we see a 2-stop, a soft, medium? What do we see here? The 2-stop is quicker, but track position is key, especially with the DRS.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because you're going to see these guys on the softs. They're going to start coming in around 2 to 3 laps from now as we actually see Matt Silva into the pits. Is this for wing damage? It is.
Or 2-stop, no wing. It is wing. Wow, okay. I didn't see it from there.
I
So he may be
barely
on a
caught
two-stop.
that, so.
Interesting.
As the Mercedes are going to get close to the Williams once again. Calzone is still breathing down his teammate's neck.
Right now, this seems like the DRS train is kind of keeping Veyron at bay behind Ryan Hurricane, but Calzone just can't seem to close up enough to get past Veyron, who does actually seem to look like the faster Mercedes right now. And he may have a chance in the 12 this time. To the right-hand side will go. Both Mercedes squabbling down in the 12. They will swap positions. Calzone gets ahead of Veyron this time. Roscoe has a time penalty, as well as, I believe, with someone else.
I think I might have been just Roscoe.
Okay, well, I'm seeing a double.
Let me go look, actually. Nope, that's not the right one. There it is.
But actually...
Nope, it's just Roscoe.
Just Roscoe? Well, now, with Calzone getting past Veyron, he doesn't have DRS of Ryan Hurricane. Veyron does. They'll fight him again. The Mercedes battling down to the turn 1 once more. Veyron is going to be alongside once more off the track. Calzone gets a time penalty this time. Now he will be applied at the end of his race time.
That's a questionable one, because I was on board with him and he, like, barely, yeah. Cody, switch the game.
Well, regardless, as a warning, we could see it probably being removed via the stewarding portal after the race. But race director will need to be finalized before the stewards can make a ruling.
Another battle to keep your eye on as well is, well, morale within the DRS of Roscoe and Matt Silva as well. Because Matt Silva's going to get a little bit of a problem into two, excuse me. But the battle for P6 between Toneless and Heatwave.
That could be heating up. Calzone could be closing in on his teammate once again for another charge. This time it's the reversal of what happened a lap ago when Veyron was behind Calzone. And once again, Veyron, the lead car of the Mercedes, does not have DRS. The second one does. Calzone will have the DRS, the slipstream. He won't use the battery, and he'll go to the right-hand side. And they'll swap again.
Yeah, these guys are just not helping themselves at the moment, as they need to stop squabbling and get back within the DRS of Ryan Hurricane. Is going to have the DRS going into turn 4, so that's going to help him gain time on Ryan ahead.
Looked like he had the better exit through 3, just could not get really, especially with the like you said, that one detection point. As Heatwave gets past Toneless Death, battle for 6th. The AlphaTauri gets ahead of the Ferrari, moves him down to 7th. The AlphaTauri up to 6th. Now he has to go chase after, ironically, the fellow Honda-powered car, the sister team of the Red Bull of BRL Wraith. As Morale gets past the other AlphaTauri, it seems like there's kind of squabbling up and down the grid. Veyron grabs a time penalty that now puts him even Steven between the two Mercs. 6 seconds to Ryan Hurricane.
And Heatwave with the time penalty.
They're
and Calzone is within the DRS now of Ryan Hurricane ahead, so...
And look at Wraith!
What? Oh, where did he come from?
Where did he come from? He's now in this fight as well. We have a 4 car now trained for the battle for 2nd and the podium spots. He's the only one out of the 3 that does not have a time penalty.
Yeah, Ryan can just barely see Botch Turbo just going into turn 1. As that is the biz into the pits.
Is this for a scheduled stop? Is it a 2-stop? Is it a 1-stop? Or is it for wing damage? We'll see. It looks like it may be a set of softs.
That is a 2-stop confirmed.
That is a 2-stop for the Haas.
Oh, that was just Mozzie getting past the biz in the pits. Nothing to see there.
So now, he's bitten the bullet. Morales is the fastest lap, by the way. But who follows suit? That Haas, it may trigger the undercut, it may trigger the pit window for those who want to try the 2-stop. But is the 1-stop just that much better with the track position? We just don't know. The tires don't fall off as well here. So it may not be a situation of, well, the tires will die. It may be a situation of track position. You have faster and more durable, I guess more grippier tires with a 2-stop. But you just may not gain as much as you think you would.
Can I just point something out? Botch Gerbil is actually coming into the pits, but his gap was 5 seconds.
Well,
Ryan Hurricane's in the pits. Calzone is in the pits. Veyron is going to stay out. That's going to allow Wraith to net P2. But Veyron is also going to have DRS going into turn 1 and turn 4. As Gerbil is
mediums.
on mediums, Calzona is on mediums, Ryan Hurricane is on mediums. There's another car. Toneless Death is coming into the pits for a set of mediums.
Mediums as well. So right now, everyone has gone medium, the exact opposite of what DeBiz did down in 12th, or I'm sorry, 11th. He's probably thinking about the 2-stop.
Oh, this is going to get tasty. Calzona's going to have DRS out of the pit lane. He's going to get past Ryan Hurricane before turn 1.
He undercut him. Actually,
no.
No, he didn't. They both were pitting. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm being crazy.
You're just tired. It's okay. I'm going to forgive you.
I am tired. Bathurst 12-hour. That was fun. Oh, Morale is out of the race.
What happened? How did that happen?
That was on the straightaway into turn 1. Was there contact? He was battling the AlphaTauri of Roscoe. It doesn't appear there's a safety car.
I don't think Roscoe has end plate damage, but then again, I couldn't tell from that specific camera angle. He does not have end plate damage. How is that not a safety car? As Veyron is into the pits. Yes. Well, I'd hope he stays out.
Hey, you never know. 2-stop. Medium for the Mercedes. So that's now everyone but DeBiz.
Well, where does he come out in correlation of his teammate and Ryan Hurricane? It's actually Toneless is behind Mozzie.
Mozzie. Well, then again, he has yet to stop. And Veyron comes out behind his teammate and Ryan Hurricane.
So he got undercut by 2 positions. That's tough.
Right now, Gerbil is provisionally P1 with a 6-second gap to Calzona.
Toneless is going to get past Mozzie. DeBiz is going to think about looking for the move on the outside. He's going to think better of it and just break early. Knowing he has DRS going into turn 4, he's going to run wide on the exit of 3. Mozzie's going to stay on the left-hand side. DeBiz is going to go on the right-hand side. I'm looking at the wrong angles here, folks. As Mozzie's going to look for a move. He is not. That's going to be DeBiz in P9. Mozzie back down into P10.
The thing is, though, with everyone obviously being on the mediums except for Mozzie's
Triple's
yet to
already
stop.
on the back of Sweller.
Wow. The pace on the Aston Martin unrivaled and unmatched so far today. We'll see what can Wraith have a charge for him. Heatwave, Sweller, maybe we'll find out. The strategy call, maybe that's the way. As Heatwave is in.
Was that for Hards?
Could be. Set of softs. I'm thinking he's thinking 2-stop.
I'm scratching my head in curiosity.
So we know for a fact DeBiz, because he put it from a set of softs to a set of softs, he needs to go to a set of mediums or hards. He's on the 2-stop. Heatwave, the softs cannot make it from here. He's on a 2-stop. Everyone else seems to be right now on a 1-stop. That could change.
If Heatwave manages to do a 1-stop from here, I'd be impressed. But like you said, they can't. As Ryan Hurricane's going to look on the left-hand side. Yep. Sorry, I cut you off again on that one.
We'll get him anyway.
Ooh, Matt Silva with a 3-second time penalty.
Might as well take a look at that, actually. 6 seconds. The Ryan Hurricane, Matt Silva now has a... Whoa, what has happened down to Matt Silva and retiring from the session? That's down at turn 3, and that's the safety car.
Mozzie has just been saved.
So has BRL Wraith.
Actually, no. Wait. Uh-oh. These guys are going to have to go to hards, or they're going to have to do a 2-stop as Wraith is in. Let's see what he goes on to. He's going to go soft, so he's going to do a 2-stop. Sweller, he's obviously going to box. He's going to trundle his way down to the Alpha Garage where his team is waiting for him. And
speaking of pitting, Morale had a puncture.
How?
Beats me. I'm guessing Cody's tire failure. I don't know.
Toneless is back into the pits. For a set of hards. Roscoe's into the pits. I'm assuming he's going to hards or another set of mediums.
Not from Ozzy. Roscoe goes to medium. So now, interesting here. What does Toneless do with these hards? I don't think he wants to use them to go to the end. He started on the softs, correct?
Yes.
So he has already fulfilled that 2 out of the 3 compound rule. Unless he's wanting to go to the end of those hards, why is he pitted for them?
Maybe extra tire life durability?
Do you think he's trying to do the strategy of which he pits again back onto the mediums?
Safety is...
Wow, yeah, he... Ooh, Morale had a literal tire blowout. Shades of Baku.
Which one? Stroll or... I guess
Both would work because they both
yeah.
blew the tire in the middle of a straightaway into a wall.
If he's doing the stream, can you, like, clip that and put it in the T2 chat? Because I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, me as well. Please do that. I want to see what exactly happened there. Back what you were saying, though. What do you think Thomas is up to in the Ferrari here?
I don't know. I'm already on board with him. Let's see. I'm just curious to see what he's going to do. He's going to stay out.
Stays out.
So he's going to the end on these compounded tires. Groggy's into the pits.
He can definitely make it. Tire life is definitely suitable. Groggy now goes from softs to softs, now to mediums again. So now he is going to be satisfying that compound rule to the end as well.
You know how every race that we commentate, there's always some sort of a curveball that happens?
It's just the nature of Tier 2. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, this is true. Excuse me.
So, by the way, quick little fact. Name me another tier that you can have multiple photo finishes at the line after a full 50% Grand Prix distance. There is none. That's the nature of Tier 2, folks.
I was just say I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're just talking to the stream. So,
I was talking in general.
Groggy, you good, my guy? Groggy, you good?
What exactly happened here to the Alpine?
I think he spun. Hey, Minico, if you're watching, can we get a spin counter, please?
Oh, that's just dirty.
Groggy knows
Didn't have to do Groggy like that.
Groggy knows I'm just messing with him. Groggy and I go way back.
Well, if that's the case, can we get a Groggy Monaco spin counter? I'm still waiting for that.
Oof. You had to do him dirty like that. Come on.
I mean, you know, it's a blow for blow, right?
I mean, it's bad enough that I was joking when Minico said he was taking all my spins. And for those of you that don't know, at the beginning of the season, I told as DePiss is into the pits, I told Minico as a joke to count how many times I spin this season. And like he said on the stream last night, I am new to learning a wheel and I am coming to grips with it, which is good for me and etc. etc. But he's actually been counting my spins this season. And I've asked him multiple different times and just said, hey, what's my spin count up to? And he goes, I can't tell you. I'm like, but it's my own spin count. And he goes, I still can't tell you. I'm like, you're just doing me dirty, man. That's not cool. So I have no idea on how many spins I have this season. So.
Well, that's I mean, I'm speechless kind of in a way. Because first off, not only did you basically made a deal with the devil there. Because Minico is basically the statistics guy when it comes to the booth.
Okay,
so
hang on. I'm gonna actually add a statement to your statement. I didn't know this.
Okay.
Like, this is the first time I've actually raced with him in the booth. So, like, all this information you're telling me is new, because last season I had Port and Feta in the booth for Tier 5.
I mean, he wasn't in the booth last season, so that would be why. By the way, safety cars in this lap. Turbo will now control the field, back him up, and see where we go from there. By the way, Wraith went to the softs, so if he's on that 2-stop, which we do not think he can go to the end, softs can go around 15 or so laps, according to Pirelli, he would probably be in for one more stop. Does that help Turbo? Or does that hurt him here?
If he does end up, like I said, taking these to the end, that's going to be a miracle, because he's probably going to be pushing a puncture ranges. Gerbil is gone.
But
he
he
did not
catch
catch
Wraith
Wraith
out
sleeping.
Hurricane.
Yeah, what a... Wow, okay. This Killzona is going to gain. He's using the slipstream He's not on the button, which Hurricane is. As Roscoe is going to get past Toneless, and there's another move, I think. Droggy looking to the inside of Mozzie. And Sweller's team with a time penalty.
That's now only 5 drivers, I'm sorry, that has yet to get a time penalty in this race so far. We're about at the halfway distance, 17 down, and about,
What happened,
Wraith is
Wraith?
around. And look at the cluster. 2 Mercedes, an Alpha Tauri, and Alfa Romeo. Now Wraith in 7th. What has happened here? It's all kicking off on the safety car restart. Calzona to 3rd, Heatwave 4th, Bayron 5th, Swellerstein to 6th. He's off the track.
That was a neat little drift he had going right there.
It is indeed.
And Calzona with another time penalty.
Heatwave closing into the Mercedes into 12. He's not going to be close enough for a move, though. He may be
He's
in
gonna
13, though.
Oh, that was a late lunge. Sweller's going to look for a move on the inside of Veyron, actually.
Off the track goes the Alfa Romeo. They're
Whoa,
side by
whoa,
side
whoa,
through.
whoa.
Oh,
Guys, come
no!
on.
Oh, no, again!
Whoa, there's 2 people.
The
What happened
Mercedes and the
there?
Alpha Tauri, they've spun around in turn 17, while out the Alfa Romeo Sweller had their own incident in 16. Calzona's pits.
Ryan actually, what happened to Ryan?
Calzona retires in the pit lane. Ryan sped in the pit lane and has a 5-second time penalty applied to his name.
He
He
doesn't
has
have a
front wing
wing.
damage. I believe he made contact with the Mercedes of Calzona and inversely the Alpha Tauri of Heatwave.
Heatwave is not impressed right now in the Tier 2 chat at the moment, but we're going to get back to the game.
Brother Steve, he was looking for any chance he had. There was just no room left on the circuit to go into turn 7 on Roscoe and the Alpha Tauri. The Alfa Romeo now trailing him. Well, same lap old, softs compared to his mediums. But when do you think these softs start wearing out compared to these mediums? It's going to be the kicker right now for Sweller's team because he wants to get through on Roscoe to keep up and catch up with Wraith, who is now all over the back of the Mercedes of Veyron, who once again, there's that man again in 2nd place. But here comes Wraith to the left-hand side before the DRS even occurs. No battery for the Red Bull. The DRS will be occurring, but not now. It's going to be down to turn 12
actually
this time.
has straight line speed over Wraith because Wraith, as soon as he pulls out, he just can't get anything going.
Well, he's on the softs compared to the mediums of Veyron. Veyron breaks
Heatwave,
later. He
you
may
good,
goes a little
buddy.
bit deep. Yellow flag. I believe Heatwave. But Wraith will go again. In a 4. Heatwave retires in the pit lane. And will go again. The Red Bull on the left-hand side. Down the inside will go. On turn 4. They're side by side, the Mercedes and the Red Bull. Into 5. They're still wheel to wheel. Off the track goes the Red Bull of Wraith. And he'll get ahead of Veyron. Will he have to give that back?
He should have to because that was an illegal overtake.
He does give it back.
Also, I think Heatwave retired on track. I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, he's still moving, so we'll see if that is correct by them. But here comes Wraith again. He has DRS this time. Instead it was active. Well, now we have the benefits of it. Down the inside of 12. This one's more assertive, but Veyron will have the DRS down the main straightaway. We'll have Roscoe, Sweller, Mozzie, Toneless Death. They're all here now, but except for Botch Turbo, who's 6.1 off the track.
I was gonna say, look at the battle. Like these guys battling, just allowing Botch Turbo just as Sweller is gonna get past. Never mind.
It was going to be a drag race, but I believe Roscoe used a little bit more of his deployment, his battery pack. But here comes the top 2 again for 2nd and 3rd. Veyron gets past Wraith. I knew he would because that DRS benefit for the Mercedes and the slipstream is a little bit too powerful. He was a sitting duck on the straightaway, the Red Bull, but he may fight back at him. But this time, look at Sweller's team. He may go after Roscoe again. To the right-hand side, Roscoe will defend. Later on the brakes for Sweller's team around the outside of 4. The Mercedes still trying to go defensive against the Red Bull, and the Alpha Tauri will stay ahead of the Alfa Romeo.
If you guys are just breaking early, it's already lap 21. Oh my gosh.
It's going by really quickly.
Yeah, it has. But yeah, these guys behind are just kind of sitting here waiting. You know, you got Roscoe, who's just kind of relaxing here in P4, watching the 2 guys ahead of him fight. Waiting for one of them to make a mistake, and then he's gonna like hop on them and get the position. Same thing with Sweller, but he's also trying to get past Roscoe, and Mozzie trying to stay with his teammate. So Alpha Crew are really doing pretty good here tonight, right? As of right now, in 5th and 6th, still have to stop again. Veyron's going to go on the left-hand side of the circuit. Wraith is going to have the DRS. He's not going to be on the button. Veyron is actually pulling away from Wraith, or he was. Wraith is going to look down the inside of turn 1. There's a little bit of contact left there before turn 1. Wraith is going to get the... Whoa, Roscoe's going to get a snap of oversteer from the curb on turn 2.
So now with that, Wraith gives up the second on his softs. For how much longer could he stay there?
As the two Alfa Romeos at the yawn.
There's 3 Alphas, so I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah, as soon as I said Alpha, I was just like, wait a minute, this isn't right. I will join that party in a few minutes. Sorry. The two Alfa Romeos are kind of pushing each other right now. Whoa, Roscoe's going to get a little oversteer. Or no, that's understeer, excuse me. I always get those two mixed up, I don't know why.
Well, I have a saying for it, but it is not really appropriate for the stream, so I was just going to leave it for another day, another time. Veyron is out of the DRS of Wraith, but did he cross the detection point within that 1 second? Wraith sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
He does not have DRS. Look at Sweller, though, on the back of Roscoe, yeah.
Even though he has the DRS, it may not, actually, it will help him this time because he has a slipstream for the Mercedes. He'll stay ahead of the Alfa Romeo to 1. This turn 1 seems to be a very, very popular attraction for overtaking this race so far.
Sweller's going to get a better exit out of 3. Roscoe's just going to barely miss his wing. Roscoe's going to look for the move on the outside of turn number 4. Veyron's going to leave him the space and the position. Veyron slowly falling down the order at the moment as he's on the second oldest lap mediums.
Well, right here without DRS, like I said, it's just basically a sitting duck. If you do not have DRS on that long straightaway down here in the Mexico City Grand Prix, and Veyron right now is paying the price. You'll have the DRS of Roscoe ahead of him, but Roscoe's now the sitting duck in the lead of this train. Wraith's catching in to Bosch Turbo's lead by about 1.5 seconds so far this lap.
Yeah, that just shows you the difference between the softs and the mediums.
So we'll go again. This time, no way, look at this. A pitting out for Romeo, that being Sweller's team.
Brian Hurricane with another time penalty. This is for another set of softs.
Confirmation of the 2-stop.
Now the question is this going to draw the attention of Wraith?
It's getting close to that time. You see Wraith tire at about 8 laps old. Same with Mozzie in 5th. That may draw them in. Or it may also draw in the likes of Box Turbo and force Wraith's hand.
I don't think Turbo's going to box, to be honest with you. Because if he doesn't, he's got like a 7-second lead to Roscoe.
We'll see what the Aston Martin does. That's Sweller's team. Back's on the track in 9th. So does Wraith come in? Does he stay out? Same with Bosch Turbo and the Aston Martin. He stays out. Wraith this time. Does he come in for his second stop? He stays out. So it looks like the pitting from Sweller's team did not trigger the undercut for the guys who do need to stop a second time. Mozzie now on the back of Veyron. Veyron's going to look for the move on Roscoe down in the turn 1. He has the DRS. Like I said, the sitting duck. This time it's the Alpha Tauri. He's blinking. His DRS deploying down and trying to harvest down in the turn 1. The Mercedes will get through a lot easier, but not as easy as it once was.
Yeah, I thought Mozzie was going to send it on the inside of Roscoe there for a second. As he's going to send it here in turn 4, he's going to brake late. Roscoe's going to leave him the space.
The switchback. Down to 6.
Oh, contact.
Oh, no, contact.
No.
He saves it and keeps it going, but he's going to lose a significant amount of time to Roscoe and that may be the lap Mozzie says, you know what, let's just go ahead and pit now.
I think those are two fellow countrymen as well.
You may be right with that.
Because Roscoe was on the podium last week, wasn't he?
Correct.
Yep. Yeah. Two fellow countrymen right there. And confirmed.
Yeah.
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 Brady stays out another lap. I am smiling from ear to ear at the moment.
I've done my job correctly. Mozzie stays out. That's crucial for his race as well. Is he going to try to stretch it a little bit longer? Same with Wraith. As well as Steam's tires, maybe a little bit worn by the end of the race.
I was trying to find what battle I want to watch. Monica, where are you? Get back in here. As
So
Ross...
fastest lap, 17-0.
What was Wraith's fastest lap? No, get that one. Wow. Wraith's fastest lap was a 17.3.
That's a pretty good improvement as well as Steam. He now grabs the fastest lap. It's everyone within the top 10. Well, they're going to get points today because there's only 10 drivers. While that fastest lap point will so far go to Sweller's team, he'll have 3 to his name. Wraith will so far gain 18. The gap will gain by 15. Gerbil now 30-second time penalty, and maybe it's good that he doesn't pit this time.
Also, I just want to point out, I was going to say half the grid has time penalties. And then, you know, Gerbil got a time penalty, so...
Now there's only 4 who have yet to get one. 60% of the grid so far has one. Now Roscoe goes in. Remember how it was. Actually, whoa.
Veyron is...
Veyron. I said maybe he'll force a hand. Veyron may have just forced 3.
He's on the... Yeah, he's on the softs.
But look at where Sweller is. Well,
he's going to get him. Wow.
He is going to get him. So,
he was
if
behind,
Veyron
wasn't
can
he?
catch Sweller, he was behind.
Wow. Well, look at the time he's lost as well.
Wow. Almost 5 seconds for the Mercedes. So, it's now or never. Sweller may be in contention for this race after all.
Well, you got to remember, you got Tolma's Death and DeBiz on the hards. Just popped my knee. That was kind of disgusting. But yeah, you got those 2 guys on the hards. I'm wondering if they're going to stay out or if they're going to pit.
They can make it to the end, statistically. But Gerbil is cutting it close, by the way. 10 laps to go from now. Now at the line, we'll have 9. Gerbil's on 14-lap-old mediums. Probably say they can go around 22 to 24-ish.
Wraith is in.
And that's pretty much where she's going.
Roscoe stays out. Mozzie is in. Homeless is going to stay out. The Biz is going to stay out. As Sweller's on the back of Groggy. He's actually going to get ahead of Wraith. By a long shot.
The overspeed for the Alfa Romeo. Carrying him ahead of him. Actually, wait a minute. That's not as far as he may have thought. Well, now, look at the gap between first and now 6th. 22 seconds. That's the gap that Sweller, Wraith, Veyron, and co. have to make up to catch up to Gerbil. Can they get there in about 9 laps?
Well, look who's back in the podium.
Roscoe and Toneless.
Georgia, watch out for Toneless. He's the underdog.
They need to get about 7 or so seconds to Toneless. Can they do it? But look at these 2 now into turn 7. Sweller's team and forces hand. Groggy almost lost the car. Wraith gets through.
How was that not wing damage?
It was close.
I barely caught the end of that.
I saw it out the corner of my eye, so I'm not too far different from you. But now these 2 again. The championship protagonists. 65 points, the gap between Sweller's team and Wraith. End of this race. 156 points on the table. It's about now or never for Wraith to start getting a move on to close in to Sweller's team. He's blinking, the energy harvesting on the Alfa Romeo. The DRS, he's not using the DRS anymore. The slipstream, the Red Bull goes ahead of the Alfa Romeo. And now he gets closer and closer to Biz in fourth. He needs to start closing into the championship. That move may have just started it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when Wraith comes up to the likes of the Biz and Toneless.
How much quicker? What's the advantage for the softs to the hards at the stage of the race? 11 laps fresher. There we go. Tires compared to DeBiz is on that Red Bull. Especially 2 steps softer of the compound. The C2 compared to the C4 on the Red Bull compared to the Haas. He's already gained about 2-3 tenths.
As the botched turbo stays out, I don't know why I almost just said DeBiz. Ugh.
Once again, gap to leader right now between him and Wraith is 19.5 seconds. With that 3-second time penalty, it's about 16. That still may be too much for him to gain on 7 laps.
We're just going to have to wait and see. Wraith, unfortunately, will not have DRS as Veyron with his 16.4. Wow.
That's a really fast lap. It's about 6/10 improvement from the previous fastest lap set by Sweller's team in the Alfa Romeo. Ironically, he's chasing, by the way.
And I believe he actually has more battery, so.
That'll do it. So now, Gerbil and Roscoe, I pretty much think they're going to one-stop the rest of the race. Everyone has met their bed. Now it's time. Who gets where? 7 laps to go, and Wraith is there on Biz. How assertive does he be? Through the S's. He was assertive on Groggy. Can he do it through the Haas now? On the hard combat tire, he'll get the run out of the turn 11. The left-hand side, the DRS, he won't even need to use it. We've got a better exit for the Haas. Up to 4th goes the Red Bull.
Yeah, so Botched and Roscoe both stay out. And Toneless is going to stay out as well. What's going on down
Ozzy
here?
and Groggy, they're side by side. And the Alfa Romeo gets the upper hand on the Alpine.
But I think he gave Groggy DRS.
I believe he may have. Yes,
Which
he
he
did.
Wraith is actually 1.6 already behind Toneless. Gosh, I meant that 1.4. 1.3.
He's closing in pretty rapidly on the Ferrari, and he's actually carrying the Haas of DeBiz with him.
And Sweller and Veyron and not Mozzie.
So now, that gap, there's still 6 laps to go. Coming to 5 this time by as Gerbil's going into turn 12 in the stadium section. Is that 17.5 seconds just too large of a gap to crawl out?
It's going to be interesting to see on how well Toneless is able to try to hold up Wraith.
This is for a podium here. Red Bull will have DRS, and it may be the same situation of a sitting duck on the straightaway. The Ferrari is not going to have DRS.
Here goes
not going to have
Sweller, though,
slipstream.
on the Biz. Veyron's going to go right with Sweller.
He's actually going to fight Sweller.
Yeah, looking for the move on the outside. Oh, there's contact. Almost contact.
They move him up place. Oh, DeBiz almost lost the car. He saved it. The exit of 3. So now Sweller up to 5th. Veyron to 6th. Toneless down to 4th. Wraith has been released. Can he catch up to Roscoe? Purple sector 1 for the Red Bull. He may be going for a charge.
Ooh.
Can he get a podium? Well, he's on a podium right now, and DeBiz another 3-second time penalty. Let's go look at penalties, by the way. 9 seconds between Roscoe and Wraith. It's 8.2. Wraith can get P2 right now.
I didn't think Roscoe had 9 seconds.
I didn't either. So now, 4 laps to go. Yellow flag, Alpine of Groggy. Around in the S's. Let's turn 11. And Wraith does get the fastest lap by 5/10 to 15.9.
Yeah, Sweller's looking for the move on Toneless. Toneless isn't going to fight it. Veyron's going to go right with Sweller. He's going to actually look for a move, I think, on the outside. Was looking for the inside. They're just going to back out of it.
They'll fight again. Who gets the better exit? Veyron looks like he may have gotten the better exit compared to Sweller Steam. He has more battery compared to the Alfa Romeo. The right-hand side will go. They both have DRS. Around the outside, the Mercedes will go in the Alfa Romeo. Will he fight? And will he be assertive? They're still side-by-side through 5. Into 6. They're still wheel-to-wheel. And Sweller stays ahead.
Oh, that could have been bad. It's almost bad when you look on the track map and you can see a silver arrow color, and you're riding on board that it can almost take up the Alfa Romeo dot and the Ferrari dot. That's how close these guys are.
Very true. All within DRS of each other, and still possible to go again.
As I think Veyron might get Sweller here on the straight. Sweller's just going to be the sitting duck. He's going to move on the outside.
That was easy.
Quick, simple, easy, efficient.
A little bit too easy for the Mercedes liking, but thankfully for him, the detection point for the DRS, especially in this zone, is the same as the first DRS zone, so Sweller's not going to have anything to fight back into 4. The 4th goes Veyron. He has that 3-second. Toneless Death is still within that window. Yellow flag, Ryan Hurricane.
What happened?
He lost his front wing on the straightaway. Is there another
Wondering if that was
puncture?
Contact with Groggy.
It could have been.
I don't see a puncture. Yeah, I'm wondering if he had contact with Groggy.
Possibly so. Wraith is now within 5 seconds. That's not going to mean much because Roscoe has about a 9-second time penalty. We have 2 laps to go. The penultimate lap of the Mexico City Grand Prix. 2 more times around for Gerbil, for Roscoe. That may look like the podium right now. Will it stand?
It's going to have to wait and see. You know, Veyron also having the time penalty, but I think he's out of the podium. So his streak of second places is most likely going to come to an end this race.
You say that, now a miracle will happen.
Oh.
It's a good thing for him, wouldn't it not be?
Well, I mean, yes, but I really don't want to see any of the top 3 off of the podium.
Obviously, they've done a really, really good job. Strategy for pace or from both so far. And, well, they only have 1.5 more time to go to complete it. Boss Gerbil going down into turn 12. He'll go for the stadium section for the penultimate time. One more time around.
At the moment, who would your driver of the day be?
Well, I'm going to take a look at
Positions
gains.
No. Well,
Too late.
What
Yellow
happened?
flag.
Toneless.
And Toneless Death is out of the session. He's retired.
Oh, no.
There's no safety car because we're on the final lap of the Grand Prix, but that is crucial to his championship. He was running in the top 5.
I said no. I mean, I don't think he honestly put a foot wrong. That's kind of weird. I'm wondering if he lost traction coming out of the final, as Monster's going to get a move on to Biz.
Looks like, once again, it may be too little too late for Sweller, but he has one more chance to do it. And it's turn 12. But speaking of chances, it's been plenty. This season has been incredible. 19 rounds and an illustrious championship. 4 drivers can still win it. Toneless Death, who retired. Butch Gerbil, who's leading. Wraith, who's in 3rd. And Sweller, who's leading the championship. 5 wins to BRL Wraith. 5 wins to Sweller Steam. the fireworks are going off because they know it's an illustrious moment for this man. Bob Scherble, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. He wins the Mexico City Grand Prix and is now the 3rd driver this season to do so. 5 wins in a season. Roscoe will come across and get a podium again, back-to-back weeks, but he'll get overtaken in the line. Wraith will get 2nd. Veyron, his string of 4 times 2nd places, he'll end in 4th place. Sweller's team 5th. Mozzie 6th. DeBiz will come home in 7th position. Groggy Oregano will come home in 8th. Ryan Hurricane 9th. Toneless Death will get 90% of the race, so he will get 1 point. But everyone else retired for the Mexico City Grand Prix. And that was a very, very quick and entertaining one, to be exact.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's the thing about these races. You know, it's like you think you're going to be here for hours on end just commentating a race, and then just like a step of the finger, the race is just gone. Driver of the day, though, I'm going to have to give it to Roscoe. You know, back-to-back podiums. And then, you know, BRL Wraith, he's also another contender, which he actually got to be a game. But Wraith actually with a good comeback drive from last week at COTA, which we all remember, to Mexico, which we just were at, which we just watched. I can't English at the moment. Gosh. But yeah, really well done to Gerbil and Roscoe and Wraith for getting on the podium. Actually, I believe 2 drivers that finished that did not have time penalties. Oh, there's 3. Sorry.
Well, that is certainly a lot more than it was a season ago who finished with time penalties. But like I said, this championship, don't rule out this man at first. This is now his 5th win in the season. He now ties the amount of wins for Wraith and for Sweller's team. There's 3 drivers tied with the most wins of the season. This championship's still wide open. Bosch Turbo wins the Mexico City Grand Prix ahead of Bureau Wraith, who gets the fastest lap from 8th on the grid and driver of the day. Roscoe will get a podium 2nd straight week in a row at COTA. Now here in Mexico City, he'll grab from 9th on the grid. He's following Wraith in his footsteps, 2nd and 3rd respectively. Veyron gets 4th. His streak of podiums have been broke and snapped, but it's still a 4th place and a really good result from the Mercedes. Sweller's team 5th ahead of his teammate Mozzie in 6th. The Biz gets 7th in the Haas ahead of Groggy Oregano, Ryan Hurricane, and Tolna Seth, who will get that 1 point because he completed 90% of the Mexico City Grand Prix. But we lost TDM Heatwave, Calzoner, Matt Silva, and Morale, all from the Mexico City Grand Prix. And it was a great one.
I don't even think I touched the popcorn that whole race. There was like so much to watch.
You couldn't take your eyes off it.
No, exactly.
Blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if everyone's in here, you know what time it is.
Yeah, to finish up a text message. Let me actually double check. No, we are mixing Roscoe. Roscoe Pico Train.
What?
You've never seen that show?
No.
Oh my goodness. How have you never seen Dukes of Hazzard?
Because I am not cultured. Nor do I really care.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue
I know,
with you on that one.
I know one thing about the Dukes of Hazzard, and that's about it. Be patient with us as we wait to get Roscoe in. And we'll start the podium interviews for round 19 of the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship of the Mexico City Grand Prix with Bosch Scherble, Bureau Wraith, and Roscoe. And we'll see if we'll have those 3 in the booth.
There he is.
There he is. The Redeemer. Take it away with P3 and P2, plus the driver of the day.
Before I do, are you at the screen? Because I'm sitting at the race director.
No, I'm not. Just go with it.
Okay. Before we continue, I'm going to ask you guys politely to make sure your audio has been included. Roscoe, we're going to start with you. P9 to P3, running P2 for majority of the race, the last end of the stint. Really well done. You got back-to-back podiums. I believe he had a podium last week at COTA, which was an eventful race. And then you got another podium here, which turned into the same thing, another eventful race. So walk us through your race, and congratulations on the podium.
Yeah, thank you. I bottled qualifying big time. If I didn't invalidate my final run, probably would have started on pole. So I was so annoyed at myself. So I knew I had to have a good recovery drive. So I mean, I had to start on softs. There was just no other choice really. But yeah, then I made a big error into turn one. I just outbraked myself. I think I was battling with Morale down to turn one. Yeah, I just outbraked myself and yeah, I thought my race was done, to be honest. I was hoping for a late safety car or whatnot to get me back in the race, which sort of did when I think it was Matt Silver DNF'd out of the race. Then I don't know what the hell happened because I don't know where I was, probably just in the top 8, I'd say roughly. Then all I just see is just cars being punched into the wall or spun around. I was like, what the hell is going on here? So that was just carnage whatsoever. But I mean, I'll take it anyway. This is it's a good race. But look, I don't know whether Wraith is going to get a penalty post race or not. I'll let him just talk about it if he wants to. But I mean, I had a good view of it with him and Sweller. So, but look, if it's P3, P2, I don't know what it'll be. But it's a good result anyway. Good, nice way to end the season anyway.
Yep. Nonetheless, we go to your home Grand Prix next weekend in Australia, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. You having good
so.
thoughts, or is that one of your tracks that you're not really good at just confused?
I mean, I've only done like Australia once in another league race on another console, and I felt like I had some pretty decent-ish pace then. So I feel should go well hopefully in the Australian Grand Prix. So look, we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, I'm excited, as well as I believe Katra is excited. Katra, do you have anything to ask Roscoe?
No, I do not, but you're going to be in for a treat next week. Oh my god, it's Australia. I'm ready.
I think we're all ready. Roscoe, again, congratulations on P3. Wraith, we'll move on to you. Driver of the day and P2. Starting P8, probably not the best qualifying result you could have asked for. Had to make a 2-stop with an early safety car. Probably not what you wanted to do. Walk us through your race and congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, starting P8 wasn't ideal, but yeah, I just, tried to keep my head down and yeah, another unlucky safety car like Suzuka. So, I just, had to make the best of the situation and yeah, just kind of improvise a strategy on the spot. But yeah, the comeback P2 was pretty nice. Think I gained some good points on Sweller for the championship, so I'm also happy with that. So yeah, so not a bad weekend all around.
Yep, and we go to Australia next week. Any good thoughts, bad thoughts, or just gonna see what happens come next week?
I think I'm pretty comfortable with Australia, so hoping to just, go into it as always, trying to get the most out of the weekend and yeah, hopefully close the gap more to Sweller.
Yep, we'll just have to wait and see. Catcher, do you have anything to ask?
No, I do not. Actually, I do have one thing about the championship. You think it's still on the cards? You have you gained a bit. What, 18 compared to Sweller Steve's 10. About 8 points in that one. Puts it about 50... Come on, math work for me, please. 57. 5 rounds to go. Can you make that gap?
I mean, yeah, I think it's always possible. I think as long as I do my part in trying to get the most out of the weekend and yeah, I think definitely it's possible.
Well then, I believe that is it. Congratulations once again to Wraith for getting Driver of the Day and P2, and Roscoe for grabbing P3 of the Mexico City Grand Prix. But that leaves us with only one man to talk to. The winner, the victor, and the first position, the highest up of the podium for the Mexico City Grand Prix, Bosch Turbo.
Hello.
So now, after that race, that now puts you even on wins with both the top 2 in the championship. 5 apiece for all 3 of you. The championship's heating up, but first, talk about what that race was. You didn't seem like you set a foot wrong.
Yeah, it was got a good start, and then built up a nice gap. And then when I pitted, I came out in a nice open space, didn't have anyone around me, and then safety car really kind of messed up my strategy. I was planning on doing a 2-stop all along, but I just kind of thought of it mid-race and just decided to keep going on those mediums. And yeah, they were pushing 70% by the end, but I managed to just keep the gap and just cruise home.
Speaking of cruising home, the championship is winding down. You're not too far away from it. And now with yourself now setting up that you've had the equal amount of wins, and tied for most, by the way, 3-way tie, with 5 apiece, once again from you, from Sweller's team, and from Wraith. You still have a chance at this championship. We have Australia next. So let's touch on that first. Do you think it's a race you can honestly maybe try to continue your streak, your momentum you had?
I haven't put a lot of practice in Australia, and it's not one of my best tracks. I don't like the high-speed chicane, so yeah, I'll probably just be trying to minimize damage next week, and then go from there.
Well, let's see how that plays out. Once again, not too far off. There's only 4 challengers left for this title fight. But first off, they still have to make it through the 5 rounds remaining to see who can crown and be crowned that champion. So once again, congratulations, Boss Gerbil, for winning the Mexico City Grand Prix.
Thank you.
Redeemer, would you like to say anything? I always forget to say this.
No, I just want to congratulate Botch Gerbil for getting his 5th win on the season and tying, as you've said multiple times, with Wraith and Sweller's team with 5 wins apiece. So next week is going to be interesting to see who can get the win and who will come out on top for the Australian Grand Prix.
Absolutely, and we cannot wait. It's going to be one that is personally my favorite. But first, don't go anywhere. In about 30 minutes' time, we have Tier 1 as they take on the Mexico City Grand Prix. Well, let's see how that plays out in their championship as it winds down. The same place there. The gap's a little bit bigger. Not by much. We'll see how it plays out between Chandler, between Bailey, between Hoopalicious, and the rest of the Tier 1 grid. We'll see how it plays out for them. The Mexico City Grand Prix next. Tomorrow, we have ACC as they take on now Tier 1 and Tier 2 at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, their next round of the Assetto Corsa Competizione Championship. On Wednesday, we take it to Australia, to Melbourne, and I cannot wait for the weekend to be started because I absolutely adore that circuit. We have Formula 2 on Wednesday. Thursday, we have Realistic as they take on the Australian Grand Prix. On Friday, we have at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tier 3, and then Tier 4 for Equal as they take on round 20 and 24 for their Australian Grand Prix. But then back here, same place, same time next week for round 20 of the Breakout Racing League. Tier 2 Championship, the Australian Grand Prix is closing down. 4 drivers left, 5 rounds. Who gets it? But for myself, Hey Catcher, alongside LDR Redeemer, the entirety of the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship and the BRL as a whole, we say thank you for watching and have a good night.